Hey,
Hi.
how's it going?
You know, my friend Eva was just telling me that there is not one guy at this party that she's attracted to.
It's okay, there's no one here I'm attracted to either.
All right, great.
Some guy you met at the party wants your number.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, did I get the day wrong?
No, why?
Because you're wearing your pajamas?
It's Sunday, I'd like to be comfortable.
Oh, good.
This is my daughter.
Wow, she's stunning. Here's mine.
She's beautiful.
I don't know what my life is going to be like with this whole going away to college thing. I guess we should develop hobbies.
Actually, I weave.
Like baskets?
Yeah, I do it in the garage.
Really?
No.
Hi, Dad.
My daughter has a lot of friends.
You think they have threesomes?
What? Why would you say that?
I know, but apparently it's what they're doing these days. I'm afraid that window's closed.
There was a window.
So what about you? Do you have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
What's he like?
He's funny and comforting
Want a kiss?
and sexy to me. Yeah.
My ex-husband and I have zero in common, and I was completely repulsed by him sexually.
Oh, God, no. Just a sec.
Marianne, please pick up the phone.
Albert, hi.
Remember that new client of mine? Well, it turns out she's...
It's now my great pleasure to welcome the cast of the film Looper,
Argo, Spring Breakers,
Cloud Atlas,
Hotel Transylvania.
Silver Linings Playbook.
It just feels like a real film festival for the community.
It's very exciting for me to be here to support a film.
I wanted to show Toronto the way I experience it.
We want people to like our movies and understand them.
What makes it really special for me is the fact that the audiences have responded the way they have.
If I got lucky in the first two, this was the lottery. I feel like I hit the jackpot. I mean, I can't believe that I'm sitting at a table, you know, flanked by these people.
Every producer I've ever worked with is in that character. And a couple I invented.
You have to be faithful to what they really were.
But I certainly wouldn't, deign to think that we are godfathering anything.
I do.
And that's why he's got the beard.
First nice thing the press have ever done.
I was really happy to find out this is where we were coming.
I said, I'm in.
The festival of the people who live here.
That was amazing.
Our moderator for today is Johanna Schneller, and it is now my pleasure to welcome the director and cast of Enough Said. Thank you.
Hello. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for coming to the TIFF press conference for Enough Said. I'm really excited to be moderating for this movie because I just think it's so smart and funny and interesting and relevant. I can't say enough good things about it. So I'm really glad that you guys are here with the film. And I'm happy to introduce the director and writer, Nicole Holofcener, to my left, Julie Louis-Dreyfuss, Catherine Keener, and Toni Collette, who play the leads of the film. I'm going to throw out a couple questions first, and then we'll open it up to the audience, if that's okay. Nicole, I love the precision of observation in all of your movies, and I'm wondering, do you start with a conversation or a moment, a character generally, and then specifically with this one, where did you start?
I guess I start with general ideas, like, what if I knew then what I knew now? And I write that down, and then if that's still interesting to me a few days later, I'll work on it a little bit and start creating a character that's usually based on someone like me. And thank you. This is why I cast these people. And then I start getting specific. But usually it's general ideas. But I don't usually know like what I'm writing about until I'm done. Yeah.
And then do you sort of say, oh, I guess this is what that was about, and then go back and kind of comb that through?
Absolutely. Once it starts to make itself clear to me what I'm writing about, I don't try to think too much about it because that takes away the fun. But, and it's not always fun, trust me. I mean, I have to rewrite it. But then I get more specific and I start creating like her job and maybe if she had that job, these scenes would be really funny, and maybe because she has that job, they talk about this, and it just starts, and then I mold it until it looks like a screenplay.
So what did you realize this one was about for you after the first draft was done? Like, what were the themes that you then wanted to kind of pick out more?
It was really about learning to accept someone and knowing that everybody has their crap. And it's really just a matter of whose crap can you deal with and what kind of crap you can deal with. And because you can't trade a person for another person without knowing you're just going to get new crap. And I swear that's not a negative view. It's just a grown-up one, right? There's a store for that. Where you can go,
Yeah,
the container store.
Crap into other crap, exactly.
And I guess trusting my own instincts, my own voice, knowing that everyone has a past. Everyone is someone's idea of hell. And you can also be someone's idea of heaven at the same time. Same person can be both.
Catherine, you've done a lot of movies with Nicole. Can you talk a little bit about your collaboration, what you get about each other?
I don't know. I guess I'll try. You know, when you were saying you can write a profession, it's funny. So I've seen the movie twice, and now I don't have to have massages. But when I see them, I think that I know more about what they're doing. like I think I know more about the profession, which is weird. Do you feel that way when you're? I don't know.
Well, I have more respect for the profession, that's for sure. But
do you feel like you're kind of like knowledgeable about it now and stuff like this?
Well,
you look like you can give a good one.
Yeah, I can give a good fake one. I really
massage.
There's the quote of the day. Massage, yes, just to clarify, massage, yeah. No. Yeah.
No, what I meant was Nicole makes me feel very like I'm familiar with things I don't know anything about. And when I met her, I felt like she was familiar to me. I think you were saying that yesterday too. And you know, you were sitting across a veritable stranger, and I just thought, oh, where were you? You know, kind of like this is. I don't know. You bypass a lot of preliminary stages with people you don't know when you meet Nicole, and it's great because you kind of start from here rather than here, and it's the same thing with being in her movies. You start from such a competent level that you really can have fun when you're playing. You're not doing all of the, just like the really early groundwork. And I think that's how, I don't know, I just have always, I love her being her friend. I love working for her and, getting a laugh out of her. It's like unbelievable, right? She laughs at your stuff. You're like, oh, God. You cleared the bar.
Yeah, I have this theory that you sort of recognize your friends even before you know them very well. And I feel that way about your movies a lot, that these are people I recognize. Did you have that sense, Julia, when you guys started working together? How did you two hook up?
Well, we met when I read the script and immediately was drawn to the whole story. And, of course, specifically to Eva, like I just felt, oh my God, I get where this woman is coming from. And then when we met, as Catherine is saying, I had the sense of like, oh my God, wait, have we known each other all our lives? And there was an immediate simpatico for sure. Yeah.
Tony, your character gets to be the voice of reason in a lot of the scenes, and I think you have that
ironic.
What does that mean?
Because the character also is a nutbag.
Right. Like, talk a little bit about, because I think it's so great to see girlfriends in movies that talk to each other the way they actually do. Like sometimes you call each other out on your crap, and sometimes you're each other's best supporter. Talk a little bit about that dynamic between your characters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it really all does start with Nicole's material. Her writing is so true to life, and those small idiosyncratic ways we relate to each other are so accurate and real and well realised. And playing this lady's buddy was a complete delight. It's so much fun to work with Julia.
As it is with Tony.
But Nicole
They
kind
hate
of
each
creates
other,
this
actually.
atmosphere where you just kind of feel free as an actor, and
Yeah.
and I think that allows for unexpected real moments to
Yeah.
kind of come about.
Little treasures to pop up.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
take such pleasure. I mean, if you cast really smart, funny, wonderful actors, you better listen to what they're saying and doing.
That's
and it's
exactly
just
right.
really fun. That's right. She told me to do that.
You know what? I just realized something. Well, no, when you said something that made me think that, you know, we spend so much time often in jobs trying to get to, you know, verisimilitude in the script. That's kind of a struggle, and then you can get there, and then you start working. That's really why it's that is eliminated when you work for Nicole. It's really, you start with reality. So you can really have fun. You know, you're not struggling to kind of, you know, bring it to just this level of honesty. It's already there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have to note that this is the first time I've ever done a panel that has only women on it, and to me, it's also a pleasure that you don't get to see very often. Movies with scenes where women are frequently talking to one another. A lot of movies, the woman is there to talk to the man or support the man or be with the kids or something like that. But to actually have these kinds of conversations, what's that like for you guys as actresses? Does it feel different than a lot of the things you normally do? Does it stand out?
I think it feels very familiar. It feels authentic, and it's, I don't know, it seems natural to me. You know, I went to an all-girls high school, and there's a lot of value in that. Although, having said, I don't think that this film is a gender necessarily oriented film at all. Mm-hmm. I think this is a this is a film about human behavior, and it's not necessarily gender specific.
Well, also there's a man missing from this. So
Yes, which we do and should probably talk about right now. Obviously, James Gandolfini's I think we should say something about
how great he is in the movie.
How great he is in the movie. Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about him and how you found him? And
I'd met with him a couple of years ago about a different movie, and he wasn't quite right for that part, but he told me he was a fan of my movies, which I just couldn't believe. He liked Lovely and Amazing, and I was like, what are you? And we had a similar sense of humor. We kind of started teasing each other right away. He has a really charming way about him.
Cheekiness, right?
Yeah, he was cheeky. And so when this came around, I thought he would be perfect for it. Obviously he was. And he, you know, I think he wanted a part like this, and came to it with a lot of seriousness and good intention, and really wanted to do his best. He was not phoning it in at all. But he was also a clown in the best way. It was like a combination of being very focused and serious, and also, you know, acting like a crazy, foolish clown that we all fell in love with. And he improvised. He was kind of scared of this one. I think coming to a comedy, I mean, who wouldn't be? And he had a very slow pace, and she does not. And I think that he felt that he had to kind of match wits with her and be as funny or be as fast. And once he realized that everyone was appreciating exactly who he was and what he was bringing without trying to do anything but do that, he would relax and be hilarious, but in his own way, not in your way. And he was very sweet and sensitive and emotional, you know, in the kitchen scene. I mean, he cries, and then when the shot is over, he says, "You made me cry like a bitch in the kitchen." And it's like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Julie, I love it. You can even see it in the poster there. You guys are just physically, right from the start, is a great looking match. You know, the juxtaposition of the two of you. What was it like to work with him that closely?
It was just a dream, you know. It was just a dream. I mean, he's one of the great American actors. I think that's not an exaggeration to say in any way. And I had a couple of moments working with him where I will admit I thought, I can't believe I'm looking into this face, because what a face, you know. But he was, as Nicole says, incredibly hardworking, very, very self-effacing. A lot of certain insecurities that I found particularly endearing and sort of perfect for the part. But it was interesting because as the film sort of, we didn't know each other particularly well, you know, to begin with, but we liked each other a lot from the get-go. And then as we were sort of working on things, it was fun. We communicated more and more, frankly, as the sort of couple in the movie gets to know each other more and more. And so by the time we got to the end of or towards the end of the movie, when there's the scene in the kitchen and so on, we talked a lot about the layers that went into that, and it was really a very exciting creative journey to take with him, and I'll never forget it.
Does anybody?
I wanted to say
sure.
just more about the movie. I was actually pretty surprised when I got here, and I'm just, I don't know, yeah, I said that was funny. No, when I was surprised when I got here and there were all of these females, young women and us, you know, together, because I don't think of this movie that way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I really don't think of it that way. I think of it, when I think of it, I think of that, and children, and relationships ending, breaking up, and then, you know, forming anew. And so it's interesting that I don't even perceive this as that kind of movie. It's to me it's another type of movie.
Mm-hmm.
About these two souls and the rest of our souls around that, you know.
There's also something really interesting that happens in it, in that the women admit that they are often hard on the men in their lives, you know. And I think that that's another thing that felt very fresh to me. Like that, there's kind of a lot of jokes in movies about, you know, guys being sort of, you know, ha ha. But I feel like this movie treats everybody with an equal amount of.
Well, I think the women are worse in the movie. I mean, we're wretched. You know, when I watch.
Well, we mean well.
Yeah. But we don't do well. You know, watching the scene where Julia's just tearing him apart at the.
You mean Eva?
I mean Eva. Sorry. At the table, you know, when the guacamole and the calorie book and all that. I mean, that's definitely. I feel like women can be really harsh on men, and I include myself. I'm working on it, but I think that you know, we can be very critical, and I can be very critical, and I like admitting that, you know, and saying that. It's like, I'm still critical, but at least I know it.
But you know, everyone in this movie, I think it comes from a really vulnerable place. It's about people largely feeling a new kind of vulnerability in their lives, and I think that's where that comes from, not to justify it.
Well, there is
no, but you have to
justification,
understand
though.
it.
Yeah.
You do.
I feel sorry for her as she's pushing him away and blowing everything, you know, and hurting him.
But did not one of us put up a fight about our character being
No.
too much of this or too much of a that?
Love it.
Which is interesting
because it's real. People are like that. They're imbalanced, and then sometimes they're even, and then they're really imbalanced again.
Right.
Yeah. That's life.
Yeah. Especially your character.
Yep.
Not true, actually.
Sorry, question in the front row.
I almost feel, Bruce Kirkland from the Toronto Sun Media, I almost feel I might be a downer bringing it back to James. But.
Well, let's see.
Well, let's see. You decide. I'm wondering, he died way too young. He's far younger than I can't believe this. But, you know, life is also tragedy. And I'm curious if that, and actors are known for the legacy of their work. They're known to us. It's different than in their families. But to us, it's the legacy. Seeing somebody die way too young, does that give you pause to not waste your time on movies that you could care less about or that, won't have a value? You do that anyway.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So I guess the question is whether there's any inspiration in that, or am I reaching too far to look for that in this?
I don't see anything positive at all. He died. I mean, I don't even think of it. I guess I don't. Yeah.
When anybody dies, it contextualizes life, and it is a reminder of our short time here, and then we fall back into the hole again.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things about this movie that I think maybe addresses your question is that it's, we imagine our lives up to a certain point. We're going to have a job and a family and a this and a that. And this is kind of, this movie is a little bit of a hinge, like what happens then in the next phase of your life. And it does address those kinds of questions about what the next phase might be. Is that something that was all on your minds maybe as you were making this? Or certainly when you were writing
you and I talked yesterday about, you grow up thinking it's going to be like this, and then it's going to be like that, and then it's going to be like this. And then I think you hit this age, and it's like, oh, this is what it's like. And pretty much this is what it's going to be like always, except for a little of this. And I think that's very sobering and scary. Just like for me, when I was 49, it was probably the worst year because I was turning 50 and I was so panicked about it and depressed about it and oh my God and all that crap. And by the time I turned 50, I was like, okay, phew. And I think that the next stage of Eva's life will be that way. The kid is gone and oh, I'm still here. I'm still valuable. I'm still a person,
Well, I think, and I mean, you start in your life, your parents, your grandparents are generally probably have passed on, and your parents are older, and it's a lot of contemplative shit. You're really, passage and things breaking up. However that is, good or bad. It is. That's what I mean about this movie. That's what it is for me. It's something that is this phase that you're coming into. It's also beautiful. I mean, having your child be well and, taken care of enough to go away.
To move on.
And be independent is what you want.
A lot of letting go.
Yeah.
Any questions in the back at this point? Yes?
Angela Bishop from Channel 10 Australia. So I might direct one at Tony, if that's okay. To have a film like this here at the Toronto Film Festival, can I ask if there's any special significance for you in that, and being part of a festival where the audiences are so embracing, I suppose? Yeah,
look, I've been coming here I'm trying to remember the first time I came here, but it's grown and changed such a tremendous amount. And a few years ago, I filmed a movie here, and so I'm quite fond of the city itself. But yeah, man, you make a movie because you believe in it, and then for it to be chosen at such a prestigious event, and to be able to celebrate your experience with your fellow filmmakers, it's a really wonderful thing. And also the audience. Being able to watch the movie yesterday with an audience was just crazy. It couldn't have gone better. It was so wonderful. It really was. You know, they were so on our side, and you realise that other people get what we get, and that's great. It's bloody brilliant.
It was nice to hear you talk in your Australian accent in this film too. Can you guys talk a little bit about
Why did you want me to do it?
I had no reason for you not to.
Yeah, I remember because I remember the first day on the set, or when we
had a little rehearsal, right?
And you started talking in an American accent, like, "What are you doing, man? That's not."
I accidentally slipped back into it because they were all. I'm so used to playing American characters with other American actors that I did slip back into it. And I actually, when I first watched it, I find it slightly jarring because. I do.
I also feel that anybody who is doing an accent that's not their natural one, a certain amount of focus has to go into sounding properly. And I saw no reason for you not to be who you are. So I thought, why focus on anything except what I want you to do.
Yeah, we got to, and then we got to make fun of your accent, which was also lots of fun.
Yeah, she got to
a
make
whole
fun
new
of it.
storyline.
Yeah, exactly.
She
Mate.
makes fun of it, mimics her so well in so many places, and we had to cut out a lot of it because it got a little.
Well, actually, not so well.
Exactly.
Well, I wouldn't know. It sounded good to me.
Questions in the back? Anybody have one at the moment? Yes, Bruce? In the front.
An up question. Bruce Kirkland again. Again, you look at the poster, you look at you great gals, you see this story being told. It's not a story about teenagers, 18 years old at high school in the cliques.
It is a little, actually.
Tiny bit.
Well, the cliques, yes, but telling stories about people who actually have mature lives. Hallelujah. Can you talk to that, Nicole Start?
Well, I like to think I have a mature life, and so I write about what I know, and I couldn't have written this when I was 20, and I embarrassingly so, my movies have kind of followed my life and gotten older. The actors have gotten older with me. I'm going to have to rein it in at some point when it becomes less attractive.
Why?
But I don't know, because I'll probably never get it made. I don't know. Well, you'll all grow old with me, so we'll just keep doing this. I don't know. Yeah, I think I just write what I know, pretty much. I'm an easy target in that way. I can't pretend that I'm writing about something I don't. I hope that, I feel like I could write a story about someone else or other people at different ages, but so far this is what's come out.
Can you give them a role?
Yeah, and I got great actors to work with, so why should I not?
Yeah, Julia, for me, this feels like a very rich time watching you. I mean, between this movie and Veep, I feel like you're getting to play a lot of colors and textures and, say some pretty wicked lines. And can you talk about a little bit what it feels like for you?
Well, it feels incredibly fortunate and fabulous. I'm thanking my lucky stars because there's so much fortune, fate built into all of this. You never know, but it was particularly with this film. It was a great thrill for me to have an opportunity to do some dramatic scenes, which I haven't been able to do in quite a long time. So that was really, really fun, and the tone of the film was extremely exciting to play because it walks a wonderful, I was going to say fine line. I don't think it's fine, but it walks the line between comedy and drama so well due to Nicole's voice, and it's the kind of film I like, to be honest with you. I love, if I weren't in this film, I would certainly be seeing this film opening weekend because I love this kind of comedy that takes, that you really can laugh and you really can actually cry, and it all works together. It's extraordinarily fun to be able to do this in the same year, doing something like Veep, which has its own value and is very, very different, and it's just pretty weird, man. It's wild.
When is the last time you feel like you were saying it's been a long time since you?
I mean, I did the cherry orchard in high school.
It's been a little bit at the girls' school.
It's so crazy to me that somebody like Julia, has not been from the beginning of her success offered. I mean, Jim Carrey was instantly in movies, and it's crazy. I mean, I feel really lucky that I got her.
Yeah, it's so exciting to be able to watch you in a movie like this and watch you play all of those emotions. It's completely heartbreaking, and I love you in it.
Oh, Tony, thanks.
Yeah, I love the way in the comedy scenes there's tension, and in the drama scenes there's comedy. Like it's a it must be kind of a gas for you guys to play. Can you speak to like that dinner party scene where one person is a little drunker than everybody else?
Who is that?
She thinks she's being funny. Maybe she's not being. So there's so many different things flying around in that scene. What does that feel like to play for you all?
Oh, it was so much fun, wasn't it?
And we shot it we went really late at night, so we went to really crazy places with it.
And there was
some
a
of which made it
kind
into
of nature to the long hours. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great fun.
Yeah, it really was.
Questions in the back? Well, I have one. I love the young women in this movie because I think that they're all equally so different, and I just think you're great with younger actresses. Is there a different way that you have of working with them, or is it maybe in just the writing of their characters, or I think you delineate them all so well, and they felt so real to me. Yeah.
Well, Jeannie McCarthy, the casting director on this movie, and I spent a lot of time, especially Jeannie and all the people that work with Jeannie, auditioning, so many girls. It's hard to find somebody really natural that looks like her parent, or at least one of her parent, and you could believe that relationship, and who seems like I'd want to work with them too. I'm very aware of what their personality is like too, and how they feel to me. I want to feel comfortable. I want to have fun. We would just talk endlessly about what we were looking for, and is that the right person? And all three of them were found just the normal way of auditioning, but a lot of them did. Mm-hmm. It's scary because you don't know how much they can handle. Tavi had never acted in a movie before.
Yeah, can you talk? I'm not sure if everyone in here is familiar with the notion that the friend of...
She plays Chloe.
Right.
The blonde.
Is... Tavi Gevinson, right?
Tavi Gevinson, I didn't know who she was. When she was 14, she started dyeing her hair gray and wearing really outrageous outfits, and ended up the front row at Fashion Week, being embraced by fashionistas. And she's a really unique person who has a blog and a book and a TED Talk and an enormous following of teenagers.
Online magazine.
She's really remarkable. This sounds like it could be a pretentious, obnoxious, shallow person, and it's the opposite of what she is.
She's so smart.
She's remarkable.
Thing, yeah.
And she wanted to act, so she came in and auditioned. And I hired her right there. She was natural and charming and had a sparkle and beautiful. Yeah. You want to put her on your lap, and that was what the character needed. I needed that quality in the character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Catherine, can you talk a little bit about playing your character? I think is on a very funny axis of smug. She has this. She's a poet and she's very thoughtful and she has this perfect house and this perfect life, and
she knows what to do with chervil.
She knows what to do with chervil.
She knows what
grows
chervil is.
Yeah. I talk to me a little bit about finding her, playing her.
Oh, really? I don't know how to. Gosh, I don't know. It's like, Nicole writes these parts and you just. I can't.
But
really.
it must be fun a little bit to kind of calibrate when to let the different amounts of self-satisfaction out and things like that.
I don't know if I was calibrating so much, but I know that you guys were helping me. So, it's, the thing is that you always have, in film, you always have someone else to do it with. Mm-hmm. So,
not always, but on this one.
Well,
Like the other actor, you mean?
The other actor,
right.
I'm just saying you're not doing something by yourself. You can rely on someone else to orient you or guide you or, just help you reach something else that you don't even know you're going after.
Well, also, if Eva's looking at you like you're a goddess, you can feel like a goddess pretty easily, right? If she's like, you write poetry.
Well, that's exactly right. And if she's, and she's all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I am, aren't I? Mm-hmm. Right here and now, I am. No, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all have this perception that other people's lives are more together than our own. Right. I think this movie really touches on that really well too, that we're all a little prone to thinking that. Is there a question, front row?
This question is for Julia and Tony. What do you wish you knew when you were younger, and why?
What? Sorry? I couldn't hear.
What do you wish you knew when you were younger, and why?
What did I wish I was when
Wish
I was
you knew. Wish you that you know now that you wish you knew then.
Oh.
Enough said.
Yes. I think that's the answer. I don't wish I knew anything more. You learn as you go. Life is a journey, and I think I knew what I was meant to know, and now I know other things. It's
Right. Ditto.
There's some things I wish I didn't know when I was younger.
Question back there? Anybody? LA is a major character in this movie, I think. Some of your films have been set in New York. Do you feel that there's a, sorry?
I've just realized what I wish I'd known.
Oh.
I wish I'd known the value of sunscreen at a very young age. We didn't know it when we were younger. I know it's not profound, but think of the ramifications.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
True. Especially in an LA set movie.
I wish I knew my skin would clear up.
It's interesting. They're both skin related.
These are our preoccupations. Anyway, is there a difference to you? Sorry, when you're like, it seems to me that the cities you set your movies in are also characters in the movies. Was there a vibe, an LA vibe for this that you were going for?
I only wrote it here. I mean, I wrote it for LA because that's where I live and that's where my kids are, and I didn't want to go away. But I feel like, and because of that, ostensibly it became about LA as well. So then where does that character live and where does this person live and where do they eat? But I feel that it could have been set anywhere. And I would have, then that city would have just been as much a part because you figure out who has how much money and what's their decorating taste and where can they afford to eat and, you know, what their jobs are. So it's not an intentional thing, but a byproduct, I think.
Does anybody have anything back there? Come on, people, you must have something. I can keep going if you want.
Well, I can stop.
Do you feel like that you got to, is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
Thanks for having us at the Toronto Film Festival.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Thanks very much for coming.
Thanks.
And thanks. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I got stumped. Oh, do you get to go?